Is it his time?
And welcome to Off the Tee. My name is Chris Exusion. You can find me at Chris E. Baum on Twitter. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I really appreciate it. It's Off the Tee, brought to you by Stateside Vodka, the official vodka of Off the Tee. Use the promo code below, Off the Tee, to save 10% off 1 liter of Stateside Vodka. Go to the website, use that code, get 10% off. Best vodka in town, best vodka around, smoothest vodka I've ever had. Make a nice Moscow Mule or anything else. So absolutely amazing. And speaking of amazing, we're going to get into the Rocket Mortgage over here. Rocket Mortgage, and this is coming off the Travelers. We had a couple winners, which is always good. Sam Burns, top 20 plus 275. He was 1 stroke off from the top 10 for 6-1, so that was something to consider there. It was close. I thought he would have had a better showing, but still cashing in with the top 20 there. And Harris English, top 10 for 5-1. Great value right there. I'm surprised I actually didn't play him because I really liked it for top 10. I usually typically play these guys to win for top 10 and win, but I'll take the 5-1. No problem. It was a great playoff with Hickok. Unbelievable. I got my man Adam checking in. What's up, Chris? Nothing too much, man. Just talking PGA, bets, anything else. If you guys got any questions, more than happy to answer them, DFS or betting. So coming off of this Travelers over here, Jason Day surprisingly had a great showing, which I was really shocked about. I know there was some course history with him, and he has not been good ever since. But I think that's something we can kind of look at the end of the day. I think we can look at some course history a little bit more, guys that get out of that slump a little bit. And I think that's something I'm targeting with one of the golfers I like today. So I will get into that eventually because I'm going to keep bringing up his name because I think he has good value across the board. And we're going to see what happens with that. But as far as the Rocket Mortgage Challenge, Detroit Golf Club, par 72, 7,330 yards, Donald Ross design, Ben Puana green mix over here. Only 2 years at this event, so there's not a lot of history. Everybody's talking about it. Got to drive the ball far. I think the number one thing is birdie or better percentage. Strokes gained putting, plus 200 yards approach shots, par 4 scoring for 350 to 400 yards, and 450 to 500 yards. And good drives gained is going to be important as well. These are kind of the things that I'm looking at that's going to be successful for this course for having the small history we have here. And remember, guys, any questions about any of your bets that you're thinking about putting down, I'm more than happy to answer them. I love answering the live questions for you guys and DFS as well, which I'm going to get into later. But without further ado, let's not beat around the bush over here. Let's get into the bets here. So leader after first round, I got 4 guys now that I like. Charlie Hoffman was one of them. I took him out, replaced him with another guy that I really like that just got into the field playing well. His name is Seamus Powers. He had a really good showing last week. I believe he got T7. He got T19, which is great. And he's been a guy that's been lingering around the first round boards for some times. I think it's important to watch these alternates for the most part to see, who gets in these tournaments, what they can do, because they end up having some decent performances most of the time, these guys. I'm not saying they're going to win the tournament, but at least something to look out for, especially on the DFS side here. So I like him at 90-1 for a leader after first round. I think this is a good spot for him. He's just been playing really well, especially on the Korn Ferry Tour. Had him for a top 20 at the Palmetto. He's just been playing really well here. just this last few events. So I definitely want to throw him in there, especially being an alternate, being pretty hungry, feeling froggy, want to leap. So let's do that there. We got a question over here. Do you think Bryson would be a good bet even though he is a heavy favorite? Well, that's a good question there. Let me see what some of the other bets are as well. We all know he is the betting favorite here. As far as the tournament goes, he is 7-1. So let's see what else we can have for him here. I think you can actually kind of key on him as far as matchups go, because anything else, you're just going to get minus money. And he had a really good putting performance at the last time at the Rocket Mortgage. I don't know if he can repeat that or not. So let's see where he's at. He is plus 775. If you just want to have a bet as far as just having a sweat for the weekend, he should be there for the sweat. He should make the cut. So I think if you want to just sprinkle something just to have a good sweat, I think you can play him here. If you want to get a little bit more value with him, he is the favorite for leader after first round, but you could get 20-1 on him. If you think he's just going to blow away this field, 20-1, he's going to do it right away. I feel like just driving the ball far and putting really well. If that hot putter starts early, at least you can make that 20-1 rather than that plus 775. So that's something to consider as well. When I look at matchups over here, let's see what I got for matchups with Bryson DeChambeau. I saw one matchup right now. Okay, so I see Bryson DeChambeau minus 125 over Patrick Reed minus 103. That might be a little bit more value as far as just not laying as much juice just to beat one golfer. I know Patrick Reed's been really good around the green. His ball striking has gotten better for the most part. But Bryson here, somebody that is really fit for this course. If you want to just lay a little bit more juice just to beat one guy like Patrick Reed, I think this is a good spot for him. Patrick Reed doesn't really drive the ball as far as Bryson, and I think you're going to need to be able to drive the ball pretty far here for the most part to get that extra advantage over here, and Bryson's going to do that. So we already know he's going to beat him off the tee right off the bat. So Patrick Reed will be behind him after every tee shot pretty much. So I think that's also another good spot you could see him there. Thanks for checking in, Adam. Appreciate it. Speaking of another Adam that I like for leader after first round, Adam Long, 100-1. He ranks sixth in my model that I made, 2021 and 20 play, first round play, par 72, yards between 7,200 and 7,400 yards. When I've got this model out here, he ranks 6 strokes gained total with the model above and 11 strokes gained putt as well. Par 72 courses during the first round, he's recorded above three strokes gained total in 6 out of his last 7 first rounds. So, and then he had over six strokes gained total at the Memorial, which is a really difficult course as well. So Adam Long, 100-1, great odds. These are little sprinkle bets. These are your lottery tickets. You hit them, you pretty much cover your bets for the week, and then you can use it to hedge or do as you please, or just cash out and collect that cash. And that's what we're going to be looking for here. Bo Hogue, another guy I'm looking at. First round par 72s, another model I made just by itself, the Memorial. He had over 5 strokes gained total, and at the Byron Nelson, almost 3 strokes gained total. And then at the Safeway Open, he had over 6.5 strokes gained total. So those are kind of par 72s that, I'm trying to replicate for this kind of course right here. And he's done really well in the first round. We're looking for first round guys. There's guys that just come off hot, and I think that's important to look at. It's not necessarily the chalk of the world to take. Some of these guys, they just play great the first round, and these are guys I've seen, be around the top of those leaderboards after the first round. You're like, who is that guy? These are these guys right here. And finally, I'm going to be talking about him a lot. Sepp Straka, I like him 80-1. I like him for this course in general. He's had really good course history here. He's been in the positives in every strokes gain category except for around the green at the Rocket Mortgage for the first round play. I feel really high about him this week. He's definitely worth a flyer, especially I think he's going to do well anyway. So at 80-1, I think it's great value there. So those are the 4 guys that I'm really liking for leader after first round. Bo Hogue, 100-1. Adam Long, 100-1. Sepp Straka, 80-1. And the new alternate coming in, Seamus Powers, 90-1. We hit one of those, we're gravy right off the bat, and we're free rolling the rest of these bets. So I want to get into a top 30. I talked about him earlier. He's been playing really well. I would like to have gotten a little more information for you, but you know what? I'm just going to cut right to the chase. Seamus Powers plus 220 for top 30. He's been absolutely outstanding. I think he can more than make a top 30. I think the books absolutely got this wrong, and we can make over 2-1 on money, 2-1 on this guy. And at top 30, I absolutely love it. And I think it's going to, I absolutely love this play. It's going to cash. So we're going to be good with that. So top 20 over here. Jumping back to the well again. Seb Straka plus 335. He's had an 8th and 11th here at this event, if you didn't know. I know a lot of people seen his course history, so I know he's going to be kind of a chalkier kind of play. But you know what? I still really like him here. Recently got a 10th after missing the cut his last 2 events. So I think he's going to be able to gain some momentum here, especially at a course he's done really well. So I think there should be a high level of confidence they should be able to get with that as well. He's really good off the tee and putting. Perfect fit for this course. Going off a strong course history, he also puts especially well in these kind of greens as well. We got Adam checking in again. How about Bryson, Reed, and Webb Simpson, a good pairing bet? Well, I actually don't have any odds on that per se. If you're looking at like the multiple bets, like these 3 winning, you're probably going to get to like a 3-1 or a 2-1 probably, because if that's what you're talking about over here, playing like a 3-player to like win the tournament. As far as Webb Simpson pairing, he's a little dangerous because he is pretty good tee to green, and he did well at this event last year, I believe. I think he got near the top 10 or in the top 20, somewhere in that ballpark. I don't have that at the top of my head, but I know he did pretty well for being such a short driver. But he's been kind of shaky this year a little bit. So, buyer beware with Webb Simpson. But, if for contrarian play for DFS, I think he's definitely a good spot there as well. And as far as 2 other top 20s that I really like here, Gary Woodland plus 225, excellent with long irons, which is coming into play here. Lesser of a field here, so I feel like he's a little more cream of the crop, if you will. And I'm getting great value with Woodland right here. Good plus 225. I think he's trending in the right direction, so I'm going to roll with him plus 225 here. And finally, everyone's favorite lefty, Phil Mickelson, 3-1. He says he's using a new hybrid that he absolutely loves. He claims he feels as good as he did at the PGA Championship. I'll see it when I believe it, but his approach numbers and ball strike numbers for year 2021 have actually been pretty good. It's been improving from what he's been doing before. So if that approach game is working for him, along with killing that ball off the tee, once again, a lesser field getting a 3-1 on a Phil Mickelson right here that's due for a good tournament like this. I love him here 3-1, so I'm rolling with him there. Top 10. 3 guys that I really like here. Jason Kokrak, 3-1. Garrett Higo, 4.5-1. And Seb Straka, 7-1. Honestly, guys, I'm not going to lie to you. Jason Kokrak is my favorite guy this week. Multiple winner on the tour. He fits the course perfectly. Great at driving. Putts it great. His approach shots have been great as long, with his birdie making. Approach shots, birdie making. Birdie making is going to be extremely important here. The last 2 events here, it's been like minus 23, minus 25. Guys have been tearing up this course, and you got to putt well, and you got to make birdies, and that's going to be very important. Bottom line, my favorite guy to win. Love him top 10 as well. I'll get into him a little bit more. But for top 10, Jason Kokrak, 3-1 to win. I was able to get him at 30-1. Odds have been changing because of guys like Charlie Hoffman coming out of the field. And we got Adam checking in once again. My main man, Adam. Thanks again. Phil, top 20. Absolutely. I love it. 3-1. Let's go. Phil Mickelson. The only Sun Devil that I like. He's the Sun Devil exception, if you will. I'm an Arizona Wildcat, but he's the man. He's media gold, and he's been on the tour forever, and his flop shots are fantastic. So you got to love the guy for sure. Garrett Higo, 4.5-1. Has only played 4 tour events this year in the U.S., but he's been really solid. He picked up a win this year in the U.S., and he's been rated really well with his approach shots. off the tee, putting, ball striking. The only thing he hasn't been that great with around the green, but I'm okay with that. You're getting great value with top 10 with a younger guy that's starting to get more onto the scene, starting to get a little bit more recognition. 4.5 to 1. I really like him there. He also drives the ball 315 yards, which will be a nice asset for him this week. Top 10 guy for birdie average as well. And in the field, 24 rounds worth of play. Very important. And for him to win 60 to 1, I really like him here to 60 to 1 here. I think you're getting a guy that's definitely going to be in contention. Great for DFS. So absolutely love it. Garrick Higo, 60 to 1. And finally, the guy I keep talking about, I haven't stopped talking about him, Sepp Straka, 7 to 1 for top 10. And Sepp Straka for the long shot, 100 to 1. Why not? Sprinkle these a little bit. The Sepp Straka 100 to 1. Maybe he finally gets over this and wins this tournament. Once again, this is a lesser of events. So I think you can look at these kind of longer shot guys to possibly win this thing or even have a good hedge at the end of the day. And if you're going to guy at 100 to 1 like a Sepp Straka that can really make some noise and stay in contention, you could be able to hedge him on Sunday with a lot of guys and still make some money. So I like that right there. So to recap, top 20, Sepp Straka, Gary Woodland, Phil Mickelson. Top 10, Jason Kokrak, Garrick Higo, Sepp Straka for top 10. And to win, those three as well, Jason Kokrak, Garrick Higo, Sepp Straka. To win in my favorite order, first is Kokrak, second Higo, third Sepp Straka. Now, when I was looking at this tournament, Matt Wolff has been playing. He came back. He just hasn't been that good. He was getting cut. Well, he's getting cut from courses, events, if you will. He just wasn't there mentally. He was claiming injuries at times, but a lot of golfers do that when they just flat out stink. And now he had that US Open. He played really well here. So I'm like, what do we do with Matt Wolff? So I looked at his odds. Really no value with him as far as odds go. I'm looking at what he's been doing over here. Let's see what we have, Matt, with 30 to 1. Really not that great. 5.5 to 1 for top 5, 3 to 1 top 10. A guy that really has been inconsistent, but has played well at the US Open, a course that he plays really well. So the play that I'm looking for Matt Wolff with the most value is a matchup play. And that's Matt Wolff plus 144 versus Joaquin Niemann. This is pretty much the Wolff bet I'm looking for. I'm getting plus 144 with a guy that is a big boomer bust guy, but you're getting almost 1.5 money just to beat one guy. I understand Joaquin Niemann drives the ball really far, and he does rate out really well for this course. It's not really a fade of Joaquin Niemann, but I really like Matt Wolff here. I think he's going to play well. He's had great success here. I believe he got a second here. He drives the ball very well. His putter was outrageous. His putter was very good at the US Open. So I think he can carry that momentum over with that putter. My goal at the end of the day was to find value with Matt Wolff. And this is my value right here. Plus 144 versus Joaquin Niemann. This is pretty much a ride with Wolff here. So great value. I think you can play him more in the DFS market. Hopefully he doesn't get so much ownership, but I really like him here. Matt Wolff, plus 144 versus Joaquin Niemann. And finally, another matchup I really like, Garrick Higo, minus 108 versus Ricky Fowler. Fowler's been in a negative off the tee, approach, putting. Not a good recipe for this event. Higo's game's been very good, and I expect him to continue this at this event. Fowler has missed the cut 3 out of his last 5 events. I feel like when he played well at the PGA Championship, I think that was just like everyone was trashing him and saying, oh, you shouldn't be in it. He got that BS exception. And I think that was just kind of like a unicorn. He had something to prove, and he played really well, and it made guys think like, oh, is Ricky Fowler going to make that move? And then he ended up getting cut from another event recently, and it just hasn't been really been that great for him. It was an outright liar at the end of the day, but he had a decent memorial showing, but I don't really see him stepping up big in this kind of smaller event. This might even be more of a tune-up for him to see what he can do in a bigger event. I'll be honest with you. I liked him the previous event, and he absolutely did terrible. So I'm a little salty about it, but it's okay because I had him in one of my DFS lineups that messed it all up. I was like 700th and change out of like 45,000 with my DFS lineup. I posted it at Chris Ebom. If I actually put somebody that was remotely decent, it would have been a monster payout. So yeah, so we'll see here. And Adam's checking in. He says, Ricky Fowler, top 10, I like him. I mean, I don't know. I just don't feel like he's going to really get up for this tournament. I could be wrong. I'm more than happy to fade him more than what he did this go around. I think it's kind of hard to back him at this point. He just had that PGA Championship where he played well because he got that exemption. I think he had a little chip on his shoulder. So take it for what it is. Those are the two matchup plays that I feel like I really like a lot. My value matchup play, Matt Wolff plus 144 versus Joaquin Niemann. And then one of my favorite matchups, Garrick Higo minus 108 versus Ricky Fowler. Now, I want to get into DFS a little bit, so let me just turn the page on that here. I want to look at some of the salary guys and see what we can do here, see what guys we can target here that I really like that could have some possible low percentages. Let's see here. Let's get to one of the contests here so we can get a nice view of the salary, ready to roll. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it. All right, here we go now. We're looking at DraftKings here. Of course, you got Bryson with the big salary of $11,400. When you're looking at these guys that are around the 10K range, you got Will Zalatoris, Hideki Matsuyama, Webb Simpson, Patrick Reed, Bryson DeChambeau. Out of these guys, if I had to take a shot with somebody, I think I would take a chance with Webb Simpson, believe it or not. I think his putter could really show up here. He had good success at this tournament before. Probably won't be highly owned because of his recent track record for the most part. So Webb Simpson, out of those guys, I would take a shot with if you're looking for a lower ownership situation right there. If I'm looking at a 9K range, I love Jason Kokrak. He's going to be extra chalky, but you know what? If he wins the tournament, you got to play him. So I don't blame that at all. Matt Wolff could be a possibility because his putter did look so good before. So that's something I'm considering as well. Keegan Bradley, his ball striking has been good, but that putter's been really, really bad. I don't know enough to even come back on, to be honest with you. And while I'm kind of fading Joaquin Niemann a little bit, I think you can still play him with some DFS because you can still get some good value with him as well. So I think you can't completely ignore him. I pretty much went against him in the matchup because of just the value with Matt Wolff, because there's not really any value with Matt Wolff this week. So I think getting him at plus 1.5 to 1 against one golfer that, could really go either way. I think that's a really good way of playing Wolff with like less risk right there and just beating one guy right there. So I'm looking at the 8K range. Charlie Hoffman withdrew. Jason Day, I'm completely fading. Ricky Fowler, I'm not crazy about. Gary Woodland, I talked about him earlier. I think he's going to be a really good play as well. Higo, Grillo. I'll tell you what, this 8K range is pretty solid. Tringali, Phil Mickelson. These are guys, this 8K range I absolutely love here. Gary Woodland's there, Kevin Kisner, Max Homa. You can almost go not wrong in this 8K range. I feel like Grillo, if we can get a hot putter from him, I think he could really turn some heads here, get you some points as well because he's very good tee to green. And when I'm looking at the 7K range, this is a guy I kind of usually trash for the most part, but Brent Snedeker, I think he could be a sneaky enough play here, being in a lesser of a field. I saw an interview on Twitter. I forget who it was from. I wish I could give the credit out for it. Unfortunately, I don't remember. But Brent Snedeker said he really liked the course lot. He felt like he was a really good course fit for it. His approach shots were really good. He really enjoyed the course. He felt like it was very gettable. So I like that as well. I think this kind of field could suit him very well. So I think he's kind of a sneakier play. Seb Straka, going to be popular, but I think he's going to do well. So between him and like a Kokrak, I think you kind of just do that right there for the most part. Excuse me one sec, guys. All right, guys, don't mind the technical difficulty over here. Let's see what we got over here. 1 second. All right, guys, we're back. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened there, but a little technical difficulty, but that's okay. Without further ado, thanks for guys still tuning in. I appreciate it, even through the little technical difficulty over here. So I'm looking at the 7K range over here. So Doc Redman had some real good success, a really good ball striker, but the putter isn't that amazing. But you know what? Let's see what he's done with the putter of late, Doc Redman, because I'm a little intrigued. Let's see. Doc Redman, the putter, a little above average. Actually hasn't been that bad with the putter of late. So something worth considering there. I mean, guy that's had real good success here before. His off the tee game's been really bad. So maybe he wouldn't be that good of a play because his off the tee game hasn't been that good. We know he's a ball striking machine. So his approach shots have been solid throughout. So something to consider. The Travelers was a little up and down for the most part for him. And finishing 61st, so nothing that great for him. But you know what? Maybe you can rekindle something there. And I think with that kind of salary, maybe we can get locked in with him there. Maverick McNeely would be a good guy as well. Ches Reavie. Let's see who else we have in the 7K. Seamus Powers. I think he's going to be a really good play. I don't know how much he's going to be picked up this much because he just became an alternate. And guys in the DFS world starting to pick up on him a little bit. And before he kind of booms a little bit even more, I think this is going to be important. Let's take him now. He's an alternate. He wasn't already in the field to be talked about all week. I think this is very important. Be sure to check out these guys that just got in because some of these guys do have some really good skill sets to do really well over here. And yes, we are bringing it 100%. So the Heat Ratio Network is not just me. It's a lot of other guys over here that talk basketball. Al, he's the man. We got my man Mark Drumheller doing betting for breakfast. Tony Cotillo, he runs the ship over here. He's the Heat Ratio guy. I appreciate him having me on his network. He does great things with DFS and everything else. So this is what we do. This is what we do for sure. We cover all sports, betting, and everything else. So be sure to catch all the shows because they are all must watch. You know, everyone's putting in the good work, and especially for the Flyers show as well. Fantastic show, bringing on great guests. If you're a hockey guy, we got the Flyers and Ice show. That is a great show as well. So every sport we pretty much cover, and there's something for everybody, and that's what we're all about: bringing the content for the people. And that's what we do best. So Heat Ratio Network, follow on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, you name it. We're all over the place. Heat Ratio Sports. So let's get back to the business over here. So let's see. We're back in the 7Ks over here. Seamus Power, I told you about. I really like him here as well. Kazire, he's a guy that should be able to rate well at this course as well. Let's see what Kazire's done of late. Let's see what my Pan Kazire has done these days. And once again, guys, this show Off the Tee is brought to you by Stateside Vodka, the smoothest vodka, no joke, I've ever had in my entire life. Right out of Philadelphia. They got their bar restaurant over there. Fantastic. Making great cocktails. I made a great cocktail right here. I got a nice American Mule, if you will, a little vodka, a little ginger beer. Fantastic, super smooth. Absolutely love the vodka. Smooth vodka in the market right now, hands down. So we're looking at Kazire over here. Last 3 events, he's missed the cut. So this is something people might overlook over here. Guy missing the cut 3 times, but then he's got 2/3 in a row. So I think we can take advantage of this in the DFS market. I think this is a good spot for him right here. We can get him right here, hopefully under-owned. I think that's important. And Andre, that is the truth, no doubt. Heat Ratio is always bringing it, no doubt. Let's see what else is going on over here as well. Let's see. We're going through the 7K. Troy Merritt, the best putter on the pretty much in the field. So if you really want to ride like a great putter, he's your guy. I'm personally staying away from him, and you're absolutely right. Stateside Vodka is absolute fire. The best vodka, smoothest vodka. I will put it against any other vodka. Use my code Off the Tee to save 10% off 1 liter of Stateside, a 1 liter size of Stateside Vodka. Go to that website, store.statesidevodka.com. Use the code, get 10% off. Unbelievable. But anyway, let's keep moving through here. We're going to get into the 6Ks over here. It's going to be kind of tough over here, but there's an old reliable here, and his name's Richie Rowensky. He's a young guy that's been coming up on the tour. He won a smaller event, I believe, during the season. Let's see here. Let's see, Richie Rowensky. Let's see what kind of stats we can get for you over here for Mr. Rowensky, a guy that kind of just jumped on the scene for the most part. And we are back, guys. Crazy stuff going on here. I wish I could explain it here, but you know what? It happens. This is the first time that we had these technical difficulties like this, but we are back over here. So I wanted to get into the 6K range. So I was talking about Richie Rowensky. So this is the guy I wanted to talk about. Let's see what he has done here. So he had a third at the Zurich, which was a team event. Not that crazy, but the Arnold Palmer Invitational had a fourth. Let's see what we can do. Keep on going down over here. Yeah, I mean, you know, he's been kind of all over the board a little bit, but you're looking at these 6K guys, and this is a guy that could play really well here, just coming off a cut. Typically, when he does come off a cut, for the most part, he typically does make that cut the next go around. I'm looking at what he did here, the Sony Open. He missed the cut. He ended up getting 21st at the American Express. RBC Heritage, he got cut from, got third in the Zurich, which was a team event, so I'm not taking too much into that. But he got cut from the Valspar, ended up getting 37th. So you're looking in the 6K range to get a guy that's going to make the cut. So that's what I'm looking at over here. So Richie Rowensky is my guy there in the 6K range. Pierre Uline, he's a guy that's an alternate. He's worth a shot as well. Patrick Rogers could be decent too. Kadir has been playing real well. Bo Hogue, he makes that cut. He can start off real hot. He might be good for a showdown for the first round as well that I'm looking at. So these are a couple of the guys that I'm looking at in the 6K range. You know, it's kind of a tough field in that spot. You know, that 8K range is real juicy, and I think you could really make some noise with a lot of those guys there. But I wanted to thank you guys again for watching Off the Tee. I appreciate it. Thanks for staying through with me, guys, during this technical difficulties. Unfortunately, you know, it's a first for everything, but you know what? We're rising and firing here at Off the Tee, and let's go make that money, guys.